myself Bhautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT/ICT department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will explain you the concept of X25 network in security. So, what is the meaning of X25 and why we require the X25 network architecture in security? So, let's start with the concept of X25. So, first of all, the introduction of X25. So, X25 is developed by International Telecommunication Union and that is generally used for packet switch wide area network. So here I directly describe the characteristics of the X25. So first of all, developed by the ITUT and that is generally used by packet switch wide area network. After that, the most important two components in X25. One that is known as a DTE and second one that is known as a DCE. So generally X25 that provide the interface between the DTE and DCE for operation on public data network in packet mode. So generally in public data network, if you want to provide the communication, so with using the concept of X25 network, you can do that. Must remember two component name. One that is the DTE and second one that is known as a DCE. So let's start with the concept of DTE. DTE means what? DTE means that stands for data terminal equipment and DCE stands for data circuit terminating equipment. So mainly two components, again I repeat, again must remember the full form of this: data terminal equipment and data circuit terminating equipment. After that, these two particular components is directly used by the X25, but how? So X25, all of you know that so one kind of end-to-end protocol, and end-to-end protocol generally using the packet passing between the terminals. So with using the DTE and DCE, you can do that. So here you just see in this particular diagram. That's the simple diagram. Here I put DTE to DTE means data terminating equipment, and in between I put the different DCE means data circuit terminating equipment. So if you want to provide the communication or connection between the two terminals, so with using this particular diagram you can do that. So in between I directly rearrange the X25 protocol. In this X25 protocol directly put the DCE, different DCE between the two DTE. So up to this at least you know X25 generally used for the connection purpose, X25 that generally used for the end-to-end protocol, X25 using the two particular component, one that is the DTE, second one that is the DCE. After that, X25, what's the basic concepts behind the X25? So here you just see X25 can be used with the ATM network also. So X25 that define the procedure and protocols generally needed to establish, maintain and terminate the connection. So for the connection purpose, mainly three important points. X25 define the procedures and protocol for establishing the connection, maintain the connection and terminating the connection. So whenever you talk about the connection establishment or connection release, so at that time X25 that is the supported the different procedures and protocol for that. Second thing, how the X25, that's the part of the connection oriented technique. So it also defines the different services. Which kind of services? That generally using for the reverse charge, that generally using for the delay control. So these all technique, that's a part of the X25 network also. Third one, that can be used with the virtual circuit approach. What is the meaning of virtual circuit? All of you know. Virtual circuit means you providing the one connection between the two terminals, but that's the according to the virtual circuit concept, and here using the concept of the asynchronous TDM, that's the part of the ATM network also. For with using the asynchronous TDM, you can directly providing the multiplexing concept, and with using the multiplexing concept, you can directly arrange the different cell structure for the different cell for the particular data. So this is the concept for the X25 that is related to the ATM. And the most important point, the point number 4, the X25 also referred as subscriber network protocol, that is also known as a subscriber network protocol. After that, what's the diagram behind the X25 protocol stack? So here you just see, whenever you talk about the X25 protocol stack, that is generally divided into 3 layers. First one, that is known as a physical layer. Second one, that is known as a data link layer. And third one, that is known as a network layer. Again I repeat, must remember the name. This is the X25 protocol stack. So physical, data link, network. So whenever you talk about the physical layer, so physical layer that supported the X21. Whenever you talk about the data link layer, so data link layer supported frame layer, but frame layer with using one concept that is known as a LAPB. And whenever you talk about the network layer, so network layer supported the packet layer, that is the PLP. Again I repeat the name. If you consider the OSI model, so that is the physical, data link and network, but if you consider the X25 protocol stack, so that can be considered as a physical layer, X21, second one frame layer, that is the LAPB, and third one, that is the network layer, that is the packet layer, that is the PLP. So this is about the concept regarding the X25 protocol stack. After that, what's the logic behind the X25 physical layer? So if you talk about the X25 physical layer, so one proper concept, one proper protocol, that's the part of that. The name of the protocol, that is known as a X25 protocol. X25 protocol generally used with the physical interface between a different station. First thing, that provide the physical connection, and second one, that is generally using in a packet switching mode, means whatever the communication, that is with using the concept of physical interface, but here you provide the concept of packet switching mode, means whatever the operation performed, that is in a packet switching mode only. So this is the talk about the X25 physical layer. And whenever you talk about the X25 physical layer, so at that time the most important protocol name, that is the X21 protocol, that is for the X25 physical layer. After that, second layer, that is known as a X25 frame layer. So if you talk about the X25 frame layer, so in this one most important concept, that is known as a LAPB. But how? So here you just see in this particular layer, X25 provides data link control using LAPB. LAPB is nothing but subset of HDLC protocol. So HDLC protocol, that is the superset. LAPB, that is the subset of the HDLC. LAPB, that is a one kind of bit oriented protocol with the different frame structure. So up to this, at least you know layer number 1, that is the X25 physical layer. Layer number 2, that is the X25 frame layer. In this frame layer, using the concept of LAPB. LAPB is nothing but, that is the subset of HDLC. LAPB, that is the bit oriented protocol. So here you just see there are two addresses defined here. First one and second one. First one is a one command that is issued by the DTE. That is issued by the DTE. And the second command that is used by a DCE. And all of you know what is the meaning of DTE and what is the meaning of DCE. First command is used by a DTE. Second command is used by a DCE. So this is the important point regarding the X25 frame layer. After that, This is the most important diagram. Here you just see, whenever you talk about the X25 frame layer, so at that time, what's the major components of the frame layer? So first one, that is flag. Second one, that is address. Third one, that is the control. Fourth one, that is the information. Fifth one, that is the FCS. And sixth one, that is the flag. What is the meaning of FCS here? FCS means that is the frame check sequence. But the most important point here, that is the information. In this X25 frame layer, there are mainly three important frames. First one, that is known as a I frame. Second one, that is known as a S frame. And third one, that is known as a U frame. What is the meaning of I frame? That is the information frame. S frame means that is the supervisory frame. And U frame means that is the unnumbered frame. So again, I repeat the major components of the X25 frame layer. Here you just see, first one, that is the flag. Second one, that is the address. Third one, that is the control. Fourth one, that is the information. But here information is divided into three frames. Again, I repeat the name: information frame, supervisory frame, and unnumbered frame. After that, FCS and flag. FCS means what? Frame check sequence, and last one, that is the flag. So this is the concept of the X25 frame layer. So all of you know X25 protocol stack is generally divided into three layers. First one, that is the physical layer. Second one, that is the frame layer. And third one, that is the packet layer. So up to this, in physical layer, all of you know. In frame layer, the most important this diagram. After that, then after the most important point, that is the packet layer. This is the diagram for the packet layer, X25 packet layer. But how? The communication in a X25 packet layer, that is the most important thing. So here you just see the advantages and disadvantages of X25. So start with the advantages of the X25. So first of all, X25, that is a one kind of reliable protocol. Reliable protocol means, all of you know, it directly using the concept of error control in a proper way, retransmission of the bad packet in a proper way. So that's why that can be considering as a reliable protocol. Second one, advantages of X25, that providing a faster response time. Third one, third advantage of X25, it does not have a blocking, except that not supported the concept of blocking except when network storage is flooded completely. If flooding is there in a network, then after it directly apply the blocking concept. Otherwise, no blocking with using this particular network. Advantages number 4, it handles low speed and high speed data requirement. Means this particular network can be used with the high speed as well as the low speed requirement. After that, this particular network is highly available due to use of the distributed routing, because in this particular technique using the concept of distributed routing, that's the most important advantage of the X25. Next one, it using the addressing capability in a proper manner. That's the advantages of X25. And the last one, it can be statistically multiplexed. So here using the multiplexing concept in a proper manner, that's the advantages of X25. So what's the main advantage of X25? So first point, that is providing a reliable. Second, faster response. Third one, no blocking. Fourth one, fulfill the requirement. Fifth one, distributed routing. Sixth one, addressing. And seventh one, multiplexing. So that's the advantages of X25. Then after the disadvantages of X25, I think that's the last point in the particular session. So what's the disadvantages of X25? So it directly support low data rate. That's the disadvantages of X25. That's providing the 64 kbps only. After that, it utilizing a flow control and error control at a data link network layer. That's the disadvantages of X25. Third one, with using this technique, that providing the whatever the result generating, that providing a larger overhead, and with using this larger overhead, it directly degrade the performance. That's the disadvantages of that. Disadvantage number 4, that providing the queuing delays. At disadvantage is number 5, that small packet size, that is the most important disadvantage of this, that not providing for the bigger packet size. Another important disadvantage, no quality of service requirement here. And the last one, that can be used for data only, not for the voice. That's the most important thing. So that's the concept of the disadvantages of X25. So in today's session, whatever the major important points of X25, so here I discuss each and every point of X25. This particular question asked in a exam in a 7 marks, explain the concept of X25 network. So at that time, whatever we discuss here, you can directly write this particular thing in a paper. So thank you for watching.